Welcome back. As the Brockton community mourns and remembers varsity football player Damon Jones this week, parents of young athletes all over Western New York have many questions about how to keep their children safe on our athletic fields. Now, while it is very rare for an athlete to pass away following a hit on the football field, medical professionals estimate that as many as 67,000 high school football players suffer concussions each year. We're joined once again today by Dr. John Carpy. You are an orthopedic surgeon and you also specialize in sports medicine, youth sports injuries with Sisters of Charity Hospital. Thanks again for coming in today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Let's just talk about what this means. What can you say to parents in Western New York to kind of give them a peace of mind following a story like this? That's so sad and that really just touches so many hearts.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tragic situation that happened over the last week, but it is very rare for this to happen. Concussions are becoming more and more common. We're diagnosing them more often on the field. These catastrophic head injuries that happened over the last week are extremely rare. You know, the equipment that they're using nowadays is better. We are having trainers on the field that's kind of identifying these better. We're working in the right direction. It's just a reminder when something like this happens that it is possible. And, you know, unfortunately, our community now is having to deal with the consequences.
But football is something that's been part of high school and part of young people's lives for generations. Why is it now that these injuries seem to be so much more common or more prevalent?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say whether or not they're more prevalent or we're just identifying them more or they're being kind of broadcasted in the media more. I think they're probably similar over the last 20 years or so. We're just identifying them more often, and it's kind of a bigger kind of broadcast.
Talk to us about the effects, the long-term effects of even one concussion or multiple concussions. What, you know, right away you can kind of it sounds like you can kind of work through it and get over it, but later in life, what could people
Yeah, it's hard. You know, we really don't
against?
know. It depends on the severity of the concussion. You know, there's mild, moderate, there's severe, and then there's catastrophic injuries. And then repeated head injuries. You know, there's people hear about the different NFL players that had multiple head injuries and concussions, and there's a whole bunch of things called second impact syndrome and deposition of different proteins in your brain, and CTE, or chronic traumatic encephalopathy, that a lot of the football linemen, football linebackers such as Junior Seau suffered from. So it's really not known exactly how it can affect us. So we're still learning a lot about it.
When people hear of a catastrophic case like this, they are quick to say, well, we should just ban youth football, or, you know, we should ban the NFL for even promoting something like this. Do you think there's a medical case that would support that argument?
Well, I think, as we all know, there's a huge benefit in playing sports, from the youth all the way up. And catastrophic things happen in everything we do. I think trying to ban athletics or football or any other sport is a little dramatic. I think we're doing the right things to try to help prevent these things from happening. When they do happen, we're taking the right steps to treat these patients. So I would, you know, kind of continue the path we're going and make sure that we have proper medical care for these kids on the field.
Absolutely. Hope they're doing well. Thank you so much again for taking the time to come with us today. Dr. John Carpy from Sisters of Charity Hospital. It's always a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
Now over to Matt.